Hello everyone, welcome back to Tecmo Super Bowl. This has been a long time. I checked before I started this episode. The last time I recorded a Tecmo Super Bowl episode for this series was almost 5 months ago. So for anybody who is watching the Tecmo Super Bowl series, I apologize. But a lot of stuff's happened since then. I've been working a lot. So I just haven't had the time, which I know that's just an excuse, but yeah, I have been working a lot. But since then, I have a bunch of new equipment. This should sound better. And I'm also using a different controller because I had a lot of problems with the NES controller last time I was playing this. So, but I've also decided I'm going to change the format. So instead of doing two games per episode, I'm just going to do one. And it'll cut down the episode time a little longer, and hopefully I won't run out of fuel by the end of the episode, where, like, when I was playing two games, you'd hear me talking in the first game, and then the second game was just kind of like, hey, threw the ball! Woo! Yeah, because I kind of trail off. But anyways, we're still playing as Jacksonville. I'm going to see this season through, so we're just going to jump right in. I don't remember who I played last time. So, apparently we're simulating now. Skip this! Okay, now we're back. All right, we're going to jump right in, and I know that we're playing my favorite team, the Buccaneers. So now at this point, obviously, the majority of the NFL season's over. The only thing that's awaiting now is the Super Bowl between the Panthers and the Broncos. I don't particularly care. I don't like either team very much, but I guess a part of me is rooting for the Panthers because to see them win their first Super Bowl. And Peyton Manning Super Bowl. What the fuck? No. But yeah, the season didn't really go well for a lot of the teams I was rooting for. Tampa did far better this year than they did last year, so I was happy about that. They were in playoff contention for for a little while there, and then they lost their last 4 games and then fell out of playoff contention and fired their coach for some reason, even though he led a team who was 2-14 to 6-10. And with a rookie quarterback and a resurgent Doug Martin. So, I don't quite get it, but apparently people are happy that I remember who got appointed. I think it was the offensive coordinator. That he's now the coach. So, well, I'll look forward to it. And Winston today got announced that he's on the Pro Bowl team. Because because of all the people who are on the Super Bowl teams not playing. So that's cool. Him, Martin, and Logan Mankins all made it there. So that was pretty awesome for me. He might also win Rookie of the Year. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's gonna come down to an super aging Peyton Manning, who somehow, actually, a lot of that was the defense. They upended the Patriots. They would not give Tom Brady a break. Like, I watched that entire game. I didn't watch all of the Panthers-Cardinals game. I watched most of it. But yeah, that game was tough for a Patriots fan, which, like, I'm not really. I don't have a problem with the Patriots, even though I'm from Connecticut and technically in the area of Patriots, Giants, Jets. And I don't hate any of them, and I don't particularly like any of them. So, but no! There we go. I should also mention that I have... because I opted to use a Super Nintendo controller. So now I have turbo buttons. So that's pretty sweet. But no! I thought that was going to be intercepted. What was I saying? Yeah, so they just beat the shit out of the Patriots offense there. And, like, so it's really... unless something weird happens, it looks like it's just going to be a defensive battle in the Super Bowl. Which, based on the way the games went on Sunday, I would say the Panthers got that. Because their defense manhandled the Cardinals. And the Cardinals are supposed to be good. I mean, yeah, Carson Palmer kind of fell apart there. And he didn't help his team by fumbling the ball twice. And I can't remember if he ended up with 4 or 5 interceptions. But they should have just... there's something the way the game ended where I didn't like the way the game ended. The fact that Palmer kept going and risked anybody getting hurt at the end there when they were down, 30? Like, just stop. just give up. You lost. It's done. It's over with. It would be far more noble to just kneel on the ball. It's done. But people don't want to go out that way, which I don't know. But yeah, no. As much as I don't like the Panthers, they were impressive on all fronts. Their offense looked really good. Their defense was ridiculous. I do not look forward to rooting for the Tampa Buccaneers in the same division as those Panthers for the next however many seasons that team stays together. It is not going to be fun. It's going to be very much like when I was rooting for the Buccaneers in the 90s when they were in the same division as the Favre-led Packers, the Sanders-led Lions. The Vikings were good for a long time. It sucked. But yeah, on top of that, the other teams I root for, like I like Seattle, and they that first half against Carolina was bad, very bad. And but they came back, but they just didn't have enough fuel in the tank, and they didn't have enough errors from Carolina, which they really didn't commit any. Besides like punting the ball, but like no like real mishaps. And but yeah, then Jacksonville and Oakland. Oakland was close. I don't think they would have made the playoffs, but they finished 7-9, I think, and they lost to the Chiefs at the end of the season, which wasn't super bad. The Chiefs were on like almost blocked that. On like a 10-game win streak or something like that. They just ended the season on a win streak before falling apart to the Patriots. But yeah, Jacksonville did okay. They were lightly in playoff contention for a little while there, just because their division sucked so bad. But they all the teams I root for, minus Seattle, looked better than they did last year. Even Seattle at the end of the year, Seattle looked really good, which was like the complete opposite of how they looked at the beginning of the year. But the addition of Jimmy Graham didn't really work out, which is unfortunate. But the major thing that I wanted to discuss about the season was the team I thought was going to end up in the Super Bowl from the NFC, not the Panthers. I thought the Panthers weren't even going to make the playoffs. Shows what I know. But was the Cowboys. And say what you want about the Cowboys, but the Cowboys looked really good the year before. And yeah, they lost Murray and they picked up McFadden, who was that people thought was made of glass, but he had a pretty good year. But it all came down to Romo. Romo getting hurt in that Eagles game, and then re-hurt in the Panthers game when their season was pretty much over, anyways. That was the nail in the coffin for Dallas. Like if they had like stayed healthy, and Bryant also getting hurt didn't help. But if they had stayed healthy and not had to rely on Brandon Weeden and Matt Castle, and then Kellen Moore, that was awesome. I was so happy to see Kellen Moore actually get to play in the regular season game. But yeah, that they were my pick to be the NFC representative for the Super Bowl. Like I thought it was going to be them and like the Patriots, but it didn't happen. And of course, the Patriots didn't even make the Super Bowl. But yeah, such a bad turn of events for so many teams this year. The Manziel disaster in Cleveland seems to be over with now, thankfully. I've never liked Manziel, even when he was in college. I thought he was like a shitbag. But even with the fact that I like running quarterbacks, like Manziel is bad. Like he's worse than Tebow, and I like Tebow, but like he's not a good quarterback. He's just it's interesting. But yeah, Manziel's bad. But yeah, who picked up Hugh Jackson, I think. He picked up the team and he was like, well, I'll run the team, but I don't want none of this Manziel business. And the owner was like, yeah, that's fine. Shouldn't be a problem. So his time will probably be cut short, and they're lightly talking about bringing him to Dallas, which seems like an awful idea. Yeah, give me that ball. Which I think is an awful idea. I think if they're gonna go for a backup quarterback and they're not going to draft somebody. I mean, if they could draft somebody, go for it. But like, imagine if Dallas ended up with that Goff kid from fucking Cal. It'd be awesome. You could have a future quarterback, I think, based on what I've seen about him. But don't block it. No. But yeah, if you have to take a free agent though, actually, you also might have shot at that TCU kid Boykin. That'd probably be a good pick, as long as he stays out of fucking trouble. But yeah, if you're gonna pick up a free agent, I honestly think Griffin isn't done. If you can build him as a backup quarterback just for right now and have him like rest up after his terrible fucking what was his knees that got destroyed in that it was like 3 years ago where RG3 was ridiculous and then he just got torn apart and then he got torn apart in the playoffs by the Seahawks. But no. What was I saying? But yeah, I feel he would be a good addition as a backup. Like, he'd be reliable at least. And I don't think Dallas has ever had a mobile quarterback. Is that Martin? Oh, Jaworski Lane. But yeah, they need somebody back there in case Romo gets hurt, like what you saw this year. Whedon and Castle ain't gonna cut it. I don't even know why they picked up Whedon. But, like, they had a good backup before he jumped ship and went to Buffalo and then retired with Orton. I liked Orton. And he showed that he could still play when he was in Buffalo, but then he just retired. But yeah, no, they need an actual every team should have an actual backup. Not these journeyman quarterbacks who aren't very good. Because, I mean, look at teams who have a history of injured quarterbacks. The Cardinals. The Cardinals have a good backup. They have Stanton. And Stanton was really good last year when Palmer went down. But then he went down and they had, I can't remember his fucking name. But the one who had never thrown a touchdown before. And he was fucking awful. God, I just can't remember his name. He's very insignificant. But yeah. I'm trying to think of who. Oh, Tampa has their backups Glennon. I don't like Glennon. But yeah, no, all those major teams should have decent backup quarterbacks, and it's really it really shows when they don't, as in Dallas's case. God, so many things happened during the season that I didn't expect. Who expected the Redskins to win the NFC East behind Kirk Cousins? Fucking ridiculous. Like, yeah, I kind of had the hint that RG3 wasn't gonna play, but I didn't think Cousins was gonna end up at least good, and he was, to my complete surprise. But yeah, that division was in shambles anyways, and Coughlin's out at New York. There's like 7 or 8 coach changes. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I didn't expect the Broncos to be in the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody expected the Broncos to be in the Super Bowl, even when they were in the AFC Championship game. But that defense is monstrous. So yeah, I'm pulling for next year for Tampa to show themselves to be formidable. Jacksonville with with a few more pieces could be a contender in their division unless Andrew Luck has a resurgence. Oakland is close. Especially if this is Manning's last year, because then you're gonna have to rely. Denver's gonna have to rely on Osweiler, and the Chargers. I have no idea what's going on with the Chargers. Like Rivers, I feel bad for Rivers because I like Rivers, but that team is just not a very good team right now. But yeah, Seattle should continue to be a formidable team as long as they don't lose a bunch of pieces. I don't think it actually matters that much if they lose Lynch. I know he's a big part of that mystique, and the fan base really loves him. But the guy who they replaced him with during most of the season before he got hurt, he was good. So I think they'll be fine. As long as they can keep that defense together and Wilson continues to improve, which he's done every year since he came into the league. Come on. No. No. What else was I gonna say? Whatever. If I'm gonna go into any other teams, I'll leave it for next time. I'll just go on what I was talking about. But yeah, you look at a few years down the road, Jacksonville, Oakland, Tampa, they should all be in contention. And Seattle, they a lot of people were talking about it. They think the next big quarterback matchups, like the big Brady, like how Brady and Manning were like dueling back and forth for all those years, and it was a big thing. They think the next one's going to be Wilson and Newton, which I can see. For a while, I thought it was going to be, and I know a lot of people also thought it was going to be Wilson and Kaepernick, but unless Chip Kelly lights a fire under Kaepernick's ass, I don't see him seeing that level of success again. Wow, I stopped them at the 1? Awesome. But yeah, no, and I feel bad for Kaepernick too, because as I said before, I like running quarterbacks, and Kaepernick was good. No! I can't believe that happened. I thought I got that pass off. Whoops. Well, I guess that's what happens when you start at the 1. But you know, Kaepernick looked really good for like 2 years, and then I don't know. Was it the fact that they tried to make him into a pocket passer? Because that's not going to work with him. It's the same thing they do with Newton. Newton's not like out of all the running quarterbacks, he's probably got the most potential to be a pocket passer, him or Wilson. But like they need to be able to move, and that's what they do. Wilson and Newton are given room to move, and Kaepernick was kind of hindered on that. But having I think he's changed coordinators every year since he came into the league. Oh, come on, grab him. Shit. Well, they're not gonna win, but I didn't want to give up a late game touchdown. But yeah, no, I look forward to kind of seeing what Chip Kelly can do in yeah, fuck that, payback. What he can do in San Francisco, because like I'm not an Eagles fan. I don't like the Eagles, but it was interesting. And when his system worked, Philly looked terrifying. But when it didn't, then you saw that it's not good. And Bradford was the wrong choice. They should have stuck with Knowles, or I'm sorry, Foles. Yeah, late game touchdown from me. What of it? I think that's the end of the game. But yeah, no, I feel he has better weapons and the kind of quarterback he wanted. Because I know he wanted Mariota in the draft, but he couldn't get up high enough to get him. And Mariota's another interesting discussion, but I will save that for next time. But anyways, kicked the shit out of the Buccaneers. I'm so sorry. And I'll see you guys next time. It's good to be back. So, bye.